don't think you can learn as much about human beings. You really need some experiences, and I'm wiser in that respect than I was 40 or 50 years ago, even though I can't rattle off numbers the same way I used to be able to.
Well, I think that what we do reflects who we are. That's true for everybody in this room. And if you do the work I do, you meet the best human beings in the world. People who've made a choice not to make money, but to serve other human beings. I think it's the best kind of life anyone could have.
I was with her in Arizona at this Fortune Most Powerful Women's Conference, and she told me that she'd had a biopsy the day before, and I didn't really think much of it. Then we got home, and the biopsy results were not good. It was stage 4 oral cancer.
I was on my way to a board meeting in India, and I remember saying to her, you know, I'll see you when I get back. And she rarely cried, and she just started crying. I said, no, you need to stay here, and you need to come out for the operation.
So we were all there, and the day she was going into the surgery that morning, my dad, it's funny, there's some of it he just can't, you know, he just can't. The thought of something happening to her was just, for him, you know, it was just the worst thing that could happen.
She knew it was going to be really difficult. She knew the recovery was going to be brutal. So I think that she had that surgery for others.
It was quite a big surgery. She couldn't talk, she couldn't swallow, she couldn't eat. But she came out, and I really was with her for the next 4 months or so. And my dad came out every weekend. And in a few months, she was doing better. She and my dad had gone to Cody, Wyoming, which they did every year with a bunch of friends. And my dad called, this was, I don't know, 8 o'clock at night or something. And he said, something happened to Mom. I'm in an ambulance. You need to come.
I actually thought something happened to my dad. I don't know why I thought that, but I guess I thought, you know, my mom had this recovery, it was successful, and why would anything happen to her?
It was horrible. And a total shock. You know, she'd been fine. She'd been fine. They went off to Cody, and she was fine, and they were having dinner, and, you know, she didn't feel well after dinner, and she had the stroke. We went into the hospital room, and my dad was sitting there. He'd been sitting there all night, holding her hand. I was so proud of him, because when it came down to it, he knew what he was supposed to do, and he did it, which was nothing. So my dad went to sleep, and I sat with her, and I just kept putting my hand on her heart to see if she was breathing. And at one point, you know, I didn't feel anything. So I went out and I got the nurse. And I said, can you come in here? And she said, no, she's gone. So I have to say one of the worst moments of my life was waking my dad up to tell him that.
It's a very strange thing, love. You can't get rid of it. If you try to give it out, you get more back. If you try to hang on to it, you lose it. Susie really put me together. She believed in me. She put me together, and well, not only turned out to be the person I turned out to be, but I actually wouldn't have been as successful in business without that. She made me more of a whole person.
He went dark, essentially quiet and inward for a certain amount of time. You know, my dad is a solitary guy, and he had lived essentially a solitary life in a lot of ways. I think it came down to him figuring out how he was going to get through this tunnel and get out the other side.
In my head at the time, I thought, God, I don't know if he'll ever get out of bed. But he did.
Welcome. I'm Patty Stonecipher, the CEO of the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. And we appreciate you coming today, especially since I sent a very vague and very late notice to ask you to come to a conversation with Bill and Melinda on the future of philanthropy. So let's get on with it. I have the pleasure of introducing a good man whose great decision is going to change the world, Warren Buffett.
A remarkable decision tonight from one of the richest men in the world. Mega billionaire Warren Buffett says he is giving away most of his fortune to charity.
Buffett has pledged to give away the bulk of his fortune to the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation and giving more than 15% of his money to foundations started by his 3 children and his late wife, Susan.
One global health activist called what Buffett did today one of the most remarkably selfless acts that history will ever record.
That's a better hand than I get at a Berkshire Hathaway meeting. I'd like to thank you for coming. It's a great day for me. It's a great day for my family. My wife, Susie, and I had planned that whatever I made would go back to society. And originally, I thought she would outlive me and that she'd make the big decision on it. But since her death, I had to rethink the best way to get the money into society and have it used in the most effective way. And I had a solution staring me in the face.
It was completely out of the blue. I mean, amazing. The largest single gift ever given was what he gave away that day.
I'd like to ask the people representing those various foundations to come out. First 3 letters are easy to sign. I just signed Dad.
When he wrote the letter to us, he put something in that letter that was incredibly important to me, which was exactly how our foundation behaves, which is if you're gonna try to bat 1,000, you won't do very many things that are important. But if you're willing to basically strike out a few times, you can really change something big.
ICCN!
Well, I feel terrific about the fact that my 3 children each run a separate foundation that combines their special interests, whether it's early education or whether it's farming in areas where people's techniques for using small plots of land could use a lot of improvement. All kinds of ways, vaccines, you name it.
More powerful than Buffett's gift is the message he's sending to other wealthy Americans, that those who have the least in this world should benefit from those who have the most.
In my entire lifetime, everything that I've spent will be quite a bit less than 1% of everything I make. The other 99% plus will go to others because it has no utility to me. So it's silly for me to not transfer that utility to people who can use it. It's doing me no good.
I am so proud of what we do. I almost cry at every board meeting because I just think she would be so proud. And that is my biggest job, in my opinion, is to make sure that every penny gets spent the way she would want it spent.
whoever you are in this life, you don't want to think you wasted a lot of your energy and love and time on something useless. I always thought I'd marry a minister, a doctor, or somebody out doing some valuable service to human beings. And the fact that I married somebody who makes just piles of money is really the antithesis of what I ever thought. But I know what he is, and he is, there's no finer human being than who he is.
The truth is that I'm here in my position as a matter of luck. When I was born in 1930, the odds were probably 40-1 against me being born in the United States. I did win the ovarian lottery on that first day, and on top of that, I was male. Put that down as another 50-50 shot, and now the odds are 80-1 against being born a male in the United States. And it was enormously important in my whole life. To think that that makes me superior to anyone else as a human being is just, I can't follow that line of reasoning.
Terrific. Okay, good luck.
I think I was lucky to have been standing alongside Warren Buffett while he was becoming Warren Buffett. He has developed over the years. He's broadened. His values extend through all of his life. He wants to lead a life that he and his father, if his father was still living, would say was a good one. I think he's going to end up in the history books 100 years from now. I'm not sure what role he's going to be assigned. Will he be famous for what he did as an investor or as a philanthropist? But Warren said that his ambition in life is to be a teacher.
The world is a great movie to watch, but you don't want to sleepwalk through life. The important thing to do is to look for the job you would take if you didn't need a job. And life is wonderful then. I mean, you know, you jump out of bed in the morning because you're really looking forward to the day. I have, for over 60 years, been able to tap dance to work just because I'm doing what I love doing. And I just feel very, very lucky. Okay, class dismissed. Hi.
Do you fear death?
No, I don't. I've had a terrific life. I feel, you know, it's going to happen. And I have no idea what happens after it. I'm an agnostic, so it may be terribly interesting. It may not be interesting at all. We'll find out. But physically, I'm pretty well depreciated. I'm getting down to salvage value. But it really doesn't make any difference at all. It doesn't interfere with my work. It doesn't interfere with my happiness. It doesn't interfere with my thinking. I don't feel any diminution in my enjoyment of life or enthusiasm for life at all. In fact, in a sense, the game that I'm in gets more interesting all the time. It's a competitive game. It's a big game. And I enjoyed the game a lot.
you dare to really do come true. Someday I wish upon a star and wake up where the clouds are far behind me, where troubles melt like lemon drops away above the chimney tops. That's where you'll find me. Somewhere over the rainbow, bluebirds fly. Birds fly over the rainbow. Why then, oh, why can't I? Somewhere over the rainbow, bluebirds fly. Birds fly over the rainbow. Why then, oh, why can't I? If happy little bluebirds fly beyond the rainbow, why, oh, why can't I? Good night, Suze.